Today I'm out at a park just minutes from my house to do some wildlife photography. It quickly becomes obvious that this is going to be a great morning of photography, as I almost immediately hear birds calling and find a pair of pileated woodpeckers. A snow squall blows through, and when it clears up, I find a beautiful gray morph eastern screech owl sunbathing in a tree cavity. If you're new to my channel, my name is Todd DeWald and I'm a full-time wildlife and conservation photographer in beautiful New England. It is my goal to take you along to explore the amazing diversity of wildlife that call this area home, sharing with you my education to make us all better naturalists and better photographers. It is my hope that my videos will spark an interest in the wildlife in your area, so that together, through photography, we can preserve the natural places that remain. Consider subscribing to my channel to learn more, and thank you for watching. Well, hello everybody, thanks for joining me today. I am out today, and this is kind of a continuation of my last week's video. So last week's video I was out photographing common species, trying to make some interesting photos out of common species. And today, to kind of continue that idea, that theme of photographing what's close to you, I am out at a park that is very close to my home. There's nothing special about it. It's just a nice little open space. It's right along the river, so there's a lot of different species that can be found here. A lot of activity, and it's kind of a very shrubby area. A lot of it is unfortunately invasive or non-native plants, but the shrubbiness is great habitats for a lot of birds, especially during the winter, to hide out. This is a really good start. So there's a lot of blue jays that are calling overhead. There's some Carolina wrens that are singing down this way on the trail, and there's also a pileated woodpecker down here as well. Definitely gonna head over that way and see if I can find that. All right, I just happened upon a really birdy section. I found the pileated. There's some flickers and red-bellied woodpecker. There's also robins. The second pileated woodpecker just landed in the tree right in front of me. The first one that I saw is over that direction. This one's a lot closer, but it's behind a lot of sticks on the tree, so I don't have a clear shot of it yet. This one right in front of me is hammering away at the tree. I'm gonna try to creep about 10 feet or so this way, and maybe all these branches will get out of my way and I'll have a better line of sight. It's really hammering away, making a hole in this tree. It's awesome. It's getting wild out here. The pileated woodpecker is still in front of me. I was about to switch gears and photograph a flicker that was right behind me. Then a Cooper's hawk flew down, went after the flicker. Flicker flew off right over my head. Cooper's hawk flew over. Now the pileated woodpecker stopped what it was doing, Cooper's hawk flew over the river, but what the heck? All of these things are happening right outside the center of town. You would never think that this would be a good section to see so many species, but you will be amazed what you can find in these small little protected areas. You can hear all the blue jays calling right now. All the blue jays are doing their alarm calls because the Cooper's hawk was around. Right now I'm not having much luck with the pileated woodpecker. I can't seem to get a good angle on it. There's so many branches on this maple tree that it's on that it's just so sticky and so like busy, and I can't find a clear shot to get no sticks in the way of the frame. So I'm gonna move down a little bit, see if there's another opening that I can have access to. I don't think there's going to be, but just continue on down this little path here and see if I can find anything else. I can always come back. They seem to be hanging out in the area, and this one here has taken a big chunk of bark off, so it's going to be here probably for a little while, unless it gets scared off again by a hawk. It just flew down a little bit this way, which is perfectly parallel with the trail, and it's on a tree that has a little less branches, so I'm gonna try to get it now. This is really nice here. The woodpecker's kind of sideways on a branch, I don't know why, and there's a nice opening right here. So right now I'm trying to do some slow motion recording. So I've got it at 120 frames per second. That way hopefully I'll be able to get some of the wood chips falling off as it's hammering on the tree. And right now I have my internal teleconverter engaged on the 400mm just to get me a little bit closer. I'm going to switch and try putting on my external teleconverter in a second here. Try to get me just a little bit closer and try to get some really nice, tight, up-close portrait shots. I have my 2x extender on, my external one, plus the internal teleconverter engaged, so I'm at like, I don't even know, 1100mm right now, and I'm getting a really nice close-up of the bird. Slow motion video. Nice. It's just amazing that the largest woodpecker on the East Coast right now is in this small little woodlot along this river in the center of town. Pileated woodpeckers are considered a keystone species due to their ability to construct large cavities in trees. These cavities are in turn used by a variety of other animals for shelter and areas to raise young. Their diet consists of mostly wood-dwelling insects, including ants and other larvae, and they require a large abundance of dead wood to be able to find enough food. To help them survive the winter months, it is believed that these birds find ant colonies in the summer, and remember their location so that they can be visited in the winter for a steady source of food. It was an incredible experience to be able to spend so much time with these two birds. They tolerated my presence, and I was able to get closer to this species than I have ever done in the past, which allowed for some nice images. This is another advantage of visiting local parks that have many visitors. The wildlife becomes accustomed to people, and they're much less skittish, opening up new opportunities for photos. These woodpeckers require large trees with cavities to roost in at night, and they are often found along rivers and streams. These birds are resident birds in the area, and mated pairs will defend their territory throughout the year, meaning that these two birds are likely a mated pair and will work on raising young in a few months. It just got really dark, and now we have a snow squall blowing through. I need to find something to photograph in the snow now. There's some birds down here in this thicket. I'm gonna try to get down, creep down close to them so I can get some video. Awesome. Well, snow squall has come and gone, and the sun is now out really bright. The bird activity has definitely decreased a little bit now, but I'm happy with what I've gotten so far with the woodpecker, and really anything that I get from now on is just going to be a bonus. So I'm just going to continue along. The trail goes along the river, and maybe there'll be some more bird activity down there. But it's turned really to a nice day. The sun's out and it's warming things up, which is nice, because when that snow squall came through, it got really cold. Okay, are you ready for this? Just found an eastern screech owl. I'd seen it here before. When I walked past earlier, I did not see it, so I thought maybe it wasn't here anymore, but it is back out in its cavity right now. It's probably about 30 feet up into the tree, and it is just sunning itself right now. It's really nice. I have kind of a clear shot right now. It's a tough spot because there's a lot of branches that are coming up lower from the trunk and blocking it, and there's a lot of trees in the way as well. So it's tough to get a clear image of it without all these branches, especially with the wind. Everything's kind of blowing in the way, but it's nice. It's very nice. Making my way really quietly a little bit farther to my left. I'm keeping the same distance away from it, but I'm just going a little bit farther to the left to try to get some of these branches out of the view. Just going very slowly. I don't think I'm going to be able to get all of them out of the view because just where the branches are coming up in front of the trunk, but we'll see. Right now it still has its eyes closed, which is exactly what I want to see. So some blue jays just came and scared it back into this cavity. So because it's back in the cavity now, I'm going to take that opportunity to move and try to get into the better position that I think is over here. Yeah, this is it right here. I felt that I had taken all the images I was going to be able to get of this beautiful little owl at this time. The sun was very bright, and the owl was busy taking a nap and not moving, so I decided to leave the owl for a few hours and come back when the sun was setting, and they may be a little bit more active. It was just before sunset when I arrived back with the owl. I was happy to see that they were still perched in their cavity, and the lighting was now much better and the wind had stopped, allowing me to set up with a better view of the cavity and not have any branches blowing in the way. The little owl started to move around ever so slightly and eventually opened up their eyes to look around. I decided not to vlog for this part, so I didn't disturb them. I was not sure when the little owl would fly off and leave its cavity. It is such an honor to be in the presence of an owl, especially one that is so tolerant of people. I urge you to go and visit your local parks and woodlands to see what you can find close to home. You may be surprised at what you find. It didn't take long for the light to get really low as the sun had now set. I was using a very slow shutter speed, and it worked out that the owl was still not moving so much, so I was still able to get some clear images. I stayed with the owl long after the sun went down, to the point where I could not even see the owl in the cavity with my eyes. There was still enough light for my camera to be able to record video, and it eventually shook off and flew into the night to begin hunting. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you next time.